All right, let's dive right in. In this explainer, we're going to tackle how to build a really solid evaluation system for apprenticeships. We'll look at how you can create a system that actually connects those big leadership decisions with the real-world, day-to-day experience of every single apprentice. And you know, it all comes down to this one question, doesn't it? It's not about paperwork or just being compliant. It's all about impact. How do you actually know that the things you're doing at the top are making a positive difference on the ground? So let's start by just redefining what we mean by evaluation. It's not some boring chore or a box-ticking exercise. Think of it more like a dynamic feedback loop. It's the system that's constantly telling leaders what's working, what isn't, and crucially, what to do about it.
So here's what we've got on the agenda. We'll kick things off with that critical feedback loop, then we'll get into why this all matters so much. We'll look at the tools you can use, walk through some real-world examples, and wrap it all up by focusing on what's most important: impact over paperwork.
Okay, first up, the critical feedback loop. Now, this isn't just some abstract idea. It is the absolute bedrock of any high-quality apprenticeship program.
And right at the heart of this feedback loop is one single, incredibly powerful tool: the progress review. Seriously, if you get this right, you're building your entire program on the strongest foundation possible. It's where everything, the learning, the employer's input, the apprentice's well-being, all comes together.
And you know what? The funding rules actually give us a fantastic blueprint for this. A proper progress review isn't just a casual chat. No, it's a structured, mandatory three-way discussion that has to happen at least every 12 weeks. It has to check progress, it has to document any slippage in that off-the-job training, and it absolutely must end with clear, agreed-upon actions. This is your foundation for real evaluation, not just another form to fill out. So let's dig into why getting this right is so important. The stakes are incredibly high, and a strong evaluation system is really what separates proactive improvement from just constantly reacting and putting out fires. This slide just lays it out so clearly. On one side, with strong evaluation, you get a proactive approach. You're making timely course corrections, you're catching gaps early, and you're protecting that apprentice's chance of success. But on the other side, with weak evaluation, apprentices just drift. Feedback is late, interventions happen way too late, and small problems just spiral into huge ones.
And here's the absolute heart of the matter. A weak system forces you to look at lag measures, things like final achievement rates. That's like driving by looking only in the rearview mirror. It tells you where you've already been. But a strong system lets you focus on lead measures, like how things are going right now. It's the difference between steering the ship and just staring at the wake you've left behind.
Okay, so how do we actually build this strong system? Let's get practical. Let's look at the Quality Improvement Toolkit, the instruments you need for really effective evaluation.
Right, these are the core pieces of your toolkit. We're talking about things like smart templates that guide those crucial conversations, a solid system for tracking off-the-job training, strategic observations of coaching to see what's actually happening, and, of course, robust quality assurance to keep everything consistent. It's all about creating these different channels for that vital feedback to make its way to leadership.
Let's just zoom back in on that all-important tool, the tripartite progress review. A great review always has these 4 key steps. First, you discuss progress against the plan. Then you check the off-the-job training. Third, you assess how their knowledge, skills, and behaviors are developing. And finally, and this is crucial, you agree on clear actions with specific owners and deadlines. No vague promises.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's see what this actually looks like in practice. We're going to walk through a couple of scenarios that really highlight the difference between a strong and a weak evaluation system. So first up, let's imagine a provider with a really strong evaluation culture. They spot a potential problem, and they decide to dig in.
Now look at the process here. They see a problem. Employers aren't showing up to reviews as much. Instead of just firing off reminder emails, the leaders do a little deep dive. They talk to coaches, they talk to employers, and they find the real root cause. Their coaches aren't confident explaining the value of off-the-job training. So the action they take is targeted training for the coaches. And the result? A genuine improvement that the apprentices feel immediately. And this just perfectly sums up the lesson, right? Strong evaluation isn't about making paperwork look good. It's about diagnosing the real issue, changing staff behavior for the better, and directly improving the apprentice's journey.
All right, now for the flip side. Let's look at a provider with a weak evaluation system that's facing pretty similar issues.
So in this scenario, the data shows a problem, but the leadership's reaction is all about admin.
They just demand more detailed notes on the review forms. They never actually check if the reviews themselves are any good or if anyone follows up on the actions. The result is a total mess. Staff are buried in useless paperwork, the apprentices keep drifting, and the employers just get more and more frustrated and disengaged.
The lesson here is so important, and it's a trap so many people fall into. If you are just collecting data and sticking it in a folder, you are not doing evaluation. You're just creating admin, and it helps absolutely no one.
Okay, let's bring this all together. In our final section, we're going to focus on what really matters, creating an impact that inspectors, and more importantly, your apprentices are actually going to notice.
This is the question that's probably on every leader's mind, right? How do you prove your system works when an Ofsted inspector shows up? Well, the answer might not be what you think. It's definitely not about showing them a perfect stack of paperwork.
See, Ofsted validates your claims through real-world activity. They triangulate everything. They'll observe training sessions, they will talk directly to your apprentices and employers, and they'll look through your records to see if the story actually holds up. What they're testing is whether your evaluation is a real living thing or just an exercise on paper.
This table really sums it all up nicely. Good evaluation, that means progress reviews are real tripartite discussions with clear actions. Weak evaluation means they're just late, generic notes. Good QA actually improves practice. Weak QA is just arbitrary. And most importantly, with good evaluation, you're using connected evidence to explain the impact you're having, while weak evaluation is just about collecting data for appearance's sake.
And that's what it all boils down to. That's the ultimate takeaway. Forget the paperwork, forget the compliance theater. The only question that truly matters is this one. Does your evaluation system lead to real improvements that your apprentices can actually feel and benefit from? Because that is the true measure of a high-quality